Hey, this is Sherry. I just have to mention this. Here's the official police report as things happened. And a trooper video of over 4 hours doesn't show any children evacuating the school. Well, I found the timeline of when they did evacuate the school of all the kids. All right, 9:57, this McGeever runs with whoever across the parking lot towards the Sandy Hook firehouse. 9:58, Keene arrives on the scene and assists with the evacuation of the students and teachers from Sandy Hook Elementary School to the firehouse. They started evacuating the school from the official time at 9:58. All right, so let's see them evacuating the school. Here's that trooper, that 4-hour trooper vehicle. You can see it is parked on one side of the parking lot, and it has the view all the way over. It has the time at 9:57 and even the seconds. The first thing that we should be seeing is at 9:57:40, runs with blank across the parking lot. All right, let's see it. What are we supposed to see at 9:57:40? We're supposed to see her running across the parking lot. Oh, content redacted. So maybe that's when they ran across the parking lot. Now, within a few seconds, they're supposed to start evacuating the school. Now remember, this trooper is parked all the way on one side of the parking lot and views the parking lot the whole time. Any moment now, we should see either many minutes of content redacted, or we should see huge group of children coming out. Of course, we need to give them time to start doing it, you know. Okay, so maybe this is when they're coming out. 10 o'clock. Teachers, blank, and student run across parking lot with a detective. Okay, so at 10 o'clock and 45 seconds. Okay, let's keep going here. We haven't seen the masses of children yet coming out. Oh, somebody else at 10:01 starts helping with the evacuation of the students and the teachers. Content redacted. Now, this should last quite a few minutes if they're getting the kids across. I mean, there's a lot of kids to get across. Remember that one picture of FBI agent and so on running with a few kids, and they were pictured right there? And the children were taken to the Sandy Hook firehouse at 10:03, leading a group of young kids out the front at 10:03. Let's go back to 10:03, shall we? There's 10:03. Let's see. There's 10:03:06. Let's watch this. Video does not match the story. Children are escorted from the front of Sandy Hook. Another large group coming out. All right, and then at 10:06, so we're going to have some children being escorted, and at 10:06, the people that were in the conference room should be escorted across. And at 10:07, escorts blank across. 10:07, children are escorted out of the building. 10:07, children are escorted from the northeast corner. 10:08, children are escorted out of the building. At 10:12 is when they bring another group of children out to the firehouse, out from the gym area. And we're not seeing it. I'm not seeing the content redacted either. In other words, you know what this shows? This shows the official report does not match the video. This shows there are not masses of children that were evacuated. At 10:14:59, escorts children to the firehouse. This vehicle, this police car, showed all the way across. The vehicle is right there, looking all the way across. During the 4 hours, as you've seen, it does not match the timeline. All right, there you go. Official story doesn't match video.
My nickname is Swansong, and I am the editor of InsaneMedia.net, and this is the Don Hochsprung File. An online article from the Newtown Bee was posted December 14, 2012. In part, the article claimed to have received a quote from the principal of Sandy Hook Elementary, who stated that a masked man entered the building with a gun and fired more shots than she could count. The only problem was the principal, Don Hochsprung, had allegedly died in the initial hail of gunfire. A few days later, an embarrassed and ashamed Newtown Bee published a retraction and apology of the anomalous article. So, should we just chalk this one up to the chaos of the day and write it off as a mere mistake? Well, not so fast. While studying the anomalous article, a Bing cache date was noted. A cache date of December 13th, 2012, the day before the event. A shocking discovery, to say the least. But before we get our underwear in a bunch, let's see if this seemingly apparent evidence of foreknowledge is but a simple glitch in the system. Puzzled by who the author of the article actually was, as there was no name attributed, I at first assumed it could only be associate editor Shannon Hicks, since she was the first reporter from the Bee on the scene. To confirm, I contacted Miss Hicks, who suggested I speak to Curtis Clark, chief editor of the Newtown Bee. Mr. Clark in turn stated that the writer of the article was John Voquette, a well-known radio personality from Newtown and an associate editor for the Bee. Voquette attributed the mistake to the commotion of the day. How could such a crucial misidentification be attributed to the commotion of the day when Hochsprung was a known personality in the community and even appeared in videos from the Newtown Bee in years past? Voquette's response was that the woman with whom he spoke, face to face, shared some of the same physical attributes as Hochsprung. How this unknown and unidentified woman, who shared the same attributes as the Sandy Hook principal, who shared first-hand knowledge of the alleged shooting, and who herself claimed to be the school principal, came into contact with the Newtown Bee in the first place is also a great mystery. But the greatest mystery of all, and perhaps the only bit of information that could make sense of this mess, is the Bing cache date of December 13th. If the cache date was found to be correct, it would be monumental, as it would prove foreknowledge of the event and disprove anything Voquette and the Newtown Bee stated. And as Dr. Wayne Carver so famously said, everything would come crashing down on the heads of Newtown. In an attempt to confirm the validity of the Bing cache date of December 13th, I contacted Bing. Unfortunately, they have no number to call, so all correspondence was done by email. After 7 months of correspondence, I finally got my answer. Leonard, a Microsoft customer support member, stated the following. I understand that you wanted to know the accuracy of the last crawl date that you were able to see from the cache page from Bing. To directly answer your question, the date setting which the web crawler shows on the cache page is accurate. Not satisfied with one response, I went for a second opinion. This time I got Mark. Thank you for getting back to us. The server cache time is accurate since it is being updated once our crawler visits a certain page. For example, our crawler visits a page today, June 3rd, 2013. The date reflected on its cache page will be June 3rd, 2013. The date will change after our web crawler visits the page again. The final icing on the cake came when I found an article entitled Superintendent Reports on State of Schools. This article from the Newtown Bee focused on an event that occurred on December 10th, and it was also cached on December 13th, clearly making this cache date accurate. And if that cache date is accurate, then, as they say, that's where the rubber hits the road. Considering these cache dates are correct, which they most certainly are, this is Microsoft we're talking about after all, this brings up many questions. Was Don Hochsprung not supposed to die, but somehow did, in perhaps a drill gone wrong? Or was this an entirely fabricated event, a drill in which nobody died, and Don Hochsprung is somewhere alive and well? Her daughter, Erica Lafferty, after all, is comfortable making light of her mother's death as she poses with a CIA sweatshirt. I forwarded my original article to Lafferty. She never replied. Nevertheless, there are many questions, and it's about time somebody started answering.